Alan's Deep Bath. Sponsored by Kettle.
Hello and welcome into this Sunday's edition of Tier List here at MBE. We'd just like to thank you once again for joining us here on our YouTube channel and of course our Twitch stream. I'm one of your co-hosts, Stephen John McLaughlin. Our other co-host, fixing his hair, it's John C. Walsh. How you doing, John?
I'm doing my Shakespeare. Is it Hamlet?
I thought you were doing your Professor X there.
Yes.
Thinking.
It's funny, I always get
Lincoln.
compared to James McAvoy back in the day.
Yeah.
When he had hair and I had hair, he's still got hair. Now he's not got hair in sort of universal form.
Yeah.
Sony, whatever the fuck that X-Men universe
Good
was.
how that turned out, wasn't it?
And I've got no hair now, and I still kind of look like, well, I'll leave it to other people to decide.
But that chair has not got wheels on it, we promise you. It's
lots
an
of
average
lots of marks and rips now.
chair.
Seen better days.
Anyone who has come into our last two Sunday outings for our tier lists will know what this is all about. Lots of people do it on YouTube, Twitch, etc. And it's just something that we thought we'd try. I think we've very much enjoyed the last two episodes, John, that we've done. We've done Arnold Schwarzenegger last week and the week before, the best actors. This week we're doing the MCU films and television, so it's all interconnected as the MCU expanded universe. There's going to be a lot in there that we've not seen, i.e. a lot of TV shows. Most of the films you've seen, John. There's ones in there you've seen I've not seen. There's ones that I've seen that you've not seen. So I think we're qualified enough to go through as many of these as possible. And anyone that knows, obviously, we set our own tier list, as you can see on the left hand side. John's marked as special, good, average, poor, and haven't watched. There's going to be quite a few in that I haven't watched, I think, for these.
Especially when you see some of the TV shows that are
yeah. So we'll just kick on then. I think we'll just kick on because there is a lot to get through and a lot to put into that I haven't watched section right away.
I haven't watched.
Not seen it.
Have you seen Agent Carter?
I've seen one episode, didn't like it.
Haven't watched. Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D.
One episode, didn't like it.
Haven't watched. So this is good. We're getting these out of the way early doors. We've not seen any.
It's funny how these have been positioned like season 1, 2, 3. Why not just collectively put them together?
I think they should have did that in retrospect. Slingshot I've not seen either. So this is very, very good. It's the first one.
All hail the king.
No, not seen that either.
Here we go. Right.
Ant-Man and the Wasp.
They're not in chronological order. We may have to stress that as well, John.
Yeah, we'll flip it round.
We're not kicking off with Iron Man and then Incredible Hulk and then Thor, Captain America, so on and so on. It's just whatever it's been thrown up on the tier list. That's how we'll work our way through it. John, Ant-Man, the first Ant-Man movie. Stephen, I really enjoyed it. I like Paul Rudd, huge fan of him, have been for years. Corey Stoll,
obviously of House of Cards fame. That's where I first seen him.
Yep.
Really well put together.
He looks like Bobby Madden.
Does look like Bobby Madden, yes. He looks like me as well, fun enough, with that bald head. But Steve, really good film.
Yeah.
Brilliant introduction to Scott Lang, to the MCU's wackiest potentially superhero, Ant-Man. Been a butt of the jokes for a long time as Ant-Man.
I think it may still have until this next one
comes.
Yeah.
But in terms of that first movie, I thought it was a decent little movie. I thought it was a good villain. Just lots of stunning visuals in there as well. The stuff with the bathtub when he puts the suit on and minimises for the first time, and he's avoiding heels on the dance floor and he's been whisked around. Just technically really impressive. Simple little story. I really enjoyed it. I don't know where you want to put it.
John, I'll tell you something that I like the cast as well. I mean, we can rhyme off the likes of Michael Douglas and Michelle Pfeiffer, but Evangeline Lilly, is it?
Evangeline Lilly, yes.
And then you mentioned Paul Rudd, but also Michael Cena, and David Smalkin's in there as well. It's a very strong cast. I've really enjoyed it. It was something different as well. Something similar in the way they were doing Guardians at the time. They were kind of branching off and doing a different genre from what they were used to with the Thors, the Captain Americas, etc. And they did the same with Ant-Man. I love Paul Rudd, love him in everything he's ever done. Good guy. I would put that in good, John. I think it is good. It's a good film.
Yeah, I'm floating about low, good, high average for that one. Yeah. I think that's fair. But we're probably not like your average movie fan or MCU fan. We seem to like Ant-Man. Whereas a lot don't. Stephen, for me, Ant-Man and the Wasp was actually, overall, I think a better movie than the first Ant-Man movie. So I personally would put that in good.
I would think it's good as well. The reason for that is because
there wasn't a complex story.
Yeah, there wasn't really a main villain, was there? There wasn't like a hardened villain like they had in the first one. There was sort of layers to the sort of adversaries in this film. That Ghost character he had. He also had I can't remember the actor's name.
The Walton Goggins character with the suitcase, trying to get the suitcase off.
Different levels of people just after Ant-Man.
Jimmy Woo
was after him for legal purposes, but
he was. And the whole house arrest thing, how that was playing out post Civil War, just the way that Stephen, if I'm not wrong, it came after the events of Infinity War, so you had this huge galactic struggle, universal struggle. And then we went into a human level story.
Yeah, it was very much like the way that after Endgame came Far From Home, and you have that sort of fallout. Ant-Man and the Wasp was actually more parallel with what the events of what was happening in Infinity War, as we saw at the end, with obviously the dusting. But I thought they upped the visuals in this one, John. We were seeing more enlarged things as well that we didn't really see. We saw
Lawrence Fishburne in this as well. I'm pretty sure he was one of the old
another good
yeah. And just back and forth, the humour was great. You had all the good points of the first movie, and they built on it for me. And just the villains, multi-leveled, sort of tiered villains. And again, Scott Lang was back, and he was bolstered by Evangeline Lilly now playing Wasp.
Yeah,
really leading us into where we are now. We've got a borderline ensemble movie. Well, we have got an ensemble movie going into Quantumania.
We've got a borderline good trilogy here, John, as well.
Yes, we have. Yeah. Well, he says that we've rated it higher than perhaps most people.
Yeah,
I personally, I think they're good movies.
Yeah,
and I like Ant-Man. Age of Ultron, Stephen, probably the worst of the Avengers movies. Although I did watch it not long ago, and it isn't as bad as some people say.
It's not as bad, but the potential this film had and didn't execute right annoys the life out of me. A fantastic villain in Ultron, voiced by James Spader.
Yeah,
an amazing voice this guy's got. We were introduced to Wanda Maximoff and her brother, also Vision. Vision came from Ultron's software, I'm pretty sure.
Yes, he was buff. That was a great scene.
Just great introductions to great characters, but it just felt...
Was you not buff from Tony Stark's AI, his voice? What was that called again? I'm blanking on the name of...
Oh yeah, it was like a butler's name, wasn't it? I can't remember.
Jarvis.
Jarvis,
I'm sure he was the conscious form of Jarvis.
Yeah.
I mean, it's kind of similar.
Well,
thing,
he voiced it. Paul Bettany.
Yeah.
Voiced the voice of the computer for the first Iron Man films, didn't he?
But Stephen, for me, it has to go into high average, just because it could even slip. Actually, maybe mid-average.
Somewhere between average and poor. It could have been better.
It was a disappointment, and also Civil War not long releasing before or after this. I'm not sure of the actual timeline.
Yeah.
Just a disappointing movie. It had some good...
This came before Civil War, because Wanda and Vision were in Civil War and played big parts.
Because I remember them saying Civil War was almost like a 1.5. This was Avengers 1.5, and they were comparing that to an Avengers movie. But there was some good humour in that. I remember the Thor hammer scene.
Yeah.
Where they were all trying to lift it. And
you know when...
Steve Rogers.
When he does, it's Thor's face.
It's like,
concerned look as if what?
But Stephen, that's what I love about the MCU in this phase, at least, this saga. Little moments like that get payoff. When we go to Endgame, I knew it.
Yeah.
So it goes back to that classic
Steve was
scene.
actually holding back because he knew he could move it, but he didn't want to obviously
hurt Thor's feelings.
Yeah.
Although I don't think he would have. I think Thor would have took it and good.
He'd have had a drink with him.
He would have, yes. Yeah. And they could have swung Mjolnir about to see who's the strongest. Mirror on the wall, who's the strongest of them all. Is this Infinity War, Stephen?
This is Endgame.
Oh, that's Endgame.
Yeah.
That is Endgame. Jesus Christ, shocking. I literally used the fucking Captain America image from that on the actual thumbnail. I was going to put Tony Stark on the thumbnail as well, but I thought that's a bit on the nose, so I slipped Peter in. Peter Parker. Steve, this is a special one. This could be the greatest MCU movie ever made for me.
It's I don't know how many times I've seen this. I've lost count now, but you're absolutely right. We went to see it very close to opening day, I think it was.
Yeah, it was like 2 days after.
And phenomenal. Couldn't believe it. It was just everything I wanted it to be. And I think because you had that year of waiting in between those two films, Infinity War and Endgame, to see what was happening, because Infinity War was a fantastic film. I still rate it higher than Endgame, funnily enough. And it's like The Empire Strikes Back at the end. The Empire holding all the cards, and it's such a downer and stuff like that, but it just gives you more anticipation going into that final film, and it just delivered. It could have went either way, I felt, but it just delivered on so many levels.
Josh Brolin's villain, his turn as Thanos, just gets his payoff in that moment. So many emotional moments in there as well. Sacrifice of Gamora. Just that moment, I think, where he and I think it's Tony Stark.
Gamora's
in
Infinity War.
She's Infinity War, because it's obviously. Yeah, I'm right saying it, because obviously it's Natasha Romanoff
in
Endgame.
Yeah.
And obviously on Titan, you've got Mantis. They're nearly defeating Thanos.
And how frustrating is that?
The Gamora stuff. He discovers that she's been sacrificed, and he loses his sort of temper and brings it all crashing down. But even that sequence was stunning, the moon coming down and crashing. Just so many great moments. A little flashback of Gamora's childhood. Just the fact to subvert expectations and allow the villain to win. And even then, Thor's arrival in Wakanda, the use of Wakanda serving as the backdrop for Black Panther, and then 3 months later we've got Infinity War coming out and we're back to Wakanda again.
Endgame for me was probably the portal scene, which was absolutely...
Incidentally, Stephen, that has to go to special as well.
Yeah, I mean, we're talking both.
It's almost like 2 parts.
Yeah, it is, you know, and I think that's what it was billed as when they put up the board, wasn't it? Part 1 and Part 2.
Yeah.
I think they actually called it Infinity War Part 1 and Part 2. I don't think they called it Endgame at first. But you're absolutely right, John. Portals for me, that score as well from Alan Silvestri throughout these 2 films was phenomenal as well. Just tugged at the heartstrings. Perfect.
And obviously Endgame, what can you say about Endgame? Was the all-time grossing movie for a while until Disney re-released Avatar to put that top for the release of Avatar 2.
I still think Endgame's a better film than Avatar.
I think it'll come out again, and when they're building into the next Avengers movie, and it'll become the #1 grossing movie again. That's what they'll do. They'll just keep passing the baton to each other.
Yeah.
Just tag you're at your top until they get 3 billion. But Stephen, fantastic movie, Endgame. The last 25-30 minutes, some of the best action you'll ever see in cinematic sort of history.
Yeah.
What they were doing, the complexity of it, you never really lost track, even though there was sometimes upwards of 20 bodies on the screen, in the background, in the foreground. The moment when Captain America stands against all of Thanos' army with a half-broken shield.
It's a great shot,
The symbolism of it, he's the greatest of humanity. He's taking him on. Just before that, you've got him wielding Mjolnir. That's one of the best moments I've had in a theatre. Just the payoff.
He actually chins him, doesn't it? At one point, hits him right in the chin with it.
It's just epic. Stephen
swings it, and poof.
It's a brilliant movie. What can you say? The portal scene on your left.
Yeah.
It's just amazing. You see the likes of Chadwick coming out as
through that
T'Challa.
Music, John, just as he comes through. Even more so now that he's passed away, sadly. It's just emotional every time you see it. The hairs on your arms just stand up when he comes through there.
Incidentally, going back to Infinity War, it's actually when T'Challa does away that I lumped my throat in the theatres.
Yeah, it was shocking. It was
wow. Because you're not expecting it. I think he says to maybe Bucky, now's not the time to be lying down, soldier or something like that. And he grabs him, then they dust away. So those are 2 special movies. It's just a culmination of 10, 11 years of hard work, blood, sweat and tears, storytelling.
We also got...
Can't not mention Endgame and not speak about Tony Stark's sacrifice.
Yeah, well, that's...
I'm inevitable and I am Iron Man.
Yeah, I mean, it was fantastic, John. Incredible acting. There was Oscar buzz about Robert Downey Jr.'s performance in that as well. We covered, John, that there was talk about perhaps maybe he would be up for Best Actor. Unfortunately not, but...
It's funny, you've got the actress from Wakanda Forever, plays the mother, blank on her name.
Oh, yeah. What's her name?
She's actually been nominated first ever comic book movie. Well, it's not because Heath Ledger won, but it was posthumous.
For MCU.
For the MCU, first sort of Marvel related performance being nominated as an actor. Oh God, what's her name again?
Did she play the mother in Creed? Is it the same lady? I can't remember.
Oh, shit.
I'm probably getting my Michael B. Jordan films mixed up, John, but I can't remember what her name is. She's so famous as well. It's ridiculous.
Angela Bassett,
Angela
Bassett, Ramonda.
Yeah.
I'm not sure what else she's done, Steve, to be honest with you, but the point I'm making is obviously you could have had Tony Stark been nominated 3-4 years earlier. Is that how far back we are now? Time's actually been lost. 3-4 years earlier.
It was 4 years ago, John.
4 years ago. But instead, it never happened.
It's a strange one.
Probably just the actual category.
I think it was who he was up against, yeah.
But now we've got Angela Bassett, so that feels like a moment where we've actually broke down some sort of obstacle in the way of MCU performances.
I think a lot of the weight of that film, John, was probably put on her shoulders because obviously the past of Chadwick Boseman, not replacing him or recasting, which I thought would be wise thing to do. I'm glad they didn't go down that road of a scope or anything like that. And I think she carried probably the film, and I think that film could have really flopped, but didn't. So I think she's probably got a lot to
review with Drew. Welcome in.
Hi Drew.
We've got spam, and I can't seem to access it. Said spam through YouTube, which is disappointing. I'm going to have to keep my eye on that when it decides to finally turn up. I shall deal with it, and deal with it very quickly. Stephen, speaking of Black Panther, speaking of Chadwick Boseman, we've got Black Panther in next. I personally, there's been a lot of retrospective dismissing of this movie, saying it's not that good, it was never that great, it was average. I personally rate this as being an excellent movie.
Film, yeah, same as myself, John.
Just the Killmonger storyline.
Take yourself back to before this film was released, and in terms of representation, before that there was nothing. Okay, we got Chadwick Boseman in some brief scenes in Civil War,
War Machine, and Falcon, but they were small characters in the grand scheme of things.
They became more in the forefront in the Avengers last two films, but for me this was an incredible film, and I thought Michael B. Jordan as well was fantastic in this. As we know, both of them are very good friends, and I think Michael B. Jordan was so badly affected that I think he had to take a bit of time away from acting. It's just a great film. It's a great story as well. I think just this passing of the baton thing, which we're seeing a wee bit more now, obviously with Captain America and Falcon and such like. We're going to probably see it with Hawkeye and I can't remember the character's name. But this was the sort of first one that I saw playing into
Kate Bishop. Yeah,
what was it? But I thought it was a fantastic film, John. I thought it was a great. I thought it was a great film for a great character. We saw the potential in Civil War of this character, what he can do, and that suit as well, just with that sort of
the gold. Was it that
kind
point
of purpley kind of glow off it? It just looked phenomenal. Looked so
just
good.
the celebration of Wakanda, and obviously in universe Wakanda, but
and we got every footballer celebrating their goals with doing that.
Even the ones I didn't like. And also when he passed away, they were doing that as well. To be fair, I couldn't deny them, even the ones I don't like. But Steve, just the celebration of African and sort of that culture, the music, the actual landscape, I just thought, as a technical experience, very, very good movie. Performances, Chadwick was outstanding, and you've seen the rise of the likes of, I'm blanking on her name, why am I blanking on her name, the actress? Letitia Wright. Came to me in the end. Letitia Wright coming to the fore, her performance is Shuri. Lots of actors we've seen before, Lupita Nyong'o, Danny Guerrera in there, Martin Freeman, the great Andy Serkis as Ulysses Claw, coming from, I believe, was it potentially Civil War, Ultron? I think he was our villain. I always get them mixed up for some reason. There was one of them he was in.
Can't remember.
Makes you jump. So just everything, the music, the soundtrack, the everything about this movie, the score. I says the soundtrack scores twice, doesn't matter. And just as you says, Michael B. Jordan. I love Michael B. Jordan. He was in there. Eyeballs. He was in there as obviously Killmonger, one of the best villains, I think, in the MCU's whole sort of
I mean,
time.
There was baggage, there was complexities to the character, John, and
just this notion, Stephen, of two similar people and their lives taking completely different turns. One for the better, one for the worse, one left in America.
He's not a black and white villain. That's the thing I like about it, you know.
He was very, very good. Although the end scene was a bit dodgy with the CG, but we'll forgive it. Talking about dodgy CG, Stephen, it's Black Widow. A movie for me that never had to be made. I've got a huge respect for Scarlett Johansson. I love the Natasha Romanoff character.
I always felt they were throwing her a bone with this one because they killed her off, and if they were going to do it, they should have done it as one of the earlier films, I felt, to introduce her, rather than do a sort of backstory.
Stephen, did you not feel this was like an introduction movie for Yelena? You spoke of passing the baton.
But I don't really Helena, whatever she's called.
Yelena. Something.
I like Florence Pugh as an actor, but I'm not really feeling this character at all. I didn't really like her in Hawkeye. I don't know. I think it's one of those films, John, we talked about it the other day. If it's executed well, in terms of where the story's going, but if they can do a backstory like Andor, which I felt they handled well because of the characters they introduced, it paid off. But with this, I just didn't feel the whole David Harbour family thing and stuff like that. I wasn't that interested.
Taskmaster, very disappointing villain as well, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Had so much potential, but then they revealed she was some sort of pawn in that god awful English actor
Ray Winston. Yeah.
He's playing a Russian. What were they doing? It had potential. There was elements I enjoyed. I don't mind David Harbour. They did mock Red Guardian though, and I think they're going to try and redeem him in this.
Just a fat mess, wasn't it?
I can't go as fast as
it's not any better or worse than
average for me. Civil War. See, this is a potential special one. But I don't know if I can bring this.
Why don't we put it in excellent at the moment, John? We might go back to it. Because it's a fantastic film. This is the introduction of Spider-Man. You've got to remember the ins and outs of try to get this fucking character over to the MCU because of Sony ownership, and I never thought I would see it. And then when that trailer dropped and they span his web onto the Captain America shield, I went, hell, they've done it. They've done it. And those eyes.
At that point.
Do you remember those eyes focusing? I was like, wow. So for that alone, but the whole airport scene, the film itself was fantastic, but that airport scene just
not to talk up the special here.
I just thought well, John, you look at it and you go, this is a precursor to Infinity War and Avengers Endgame in terms of an ensemble film, because before that, we got Avengers, the first movie, and it was like 4 heroes or 5 heroes or whatever, This was massive, and as you say, it's almost an Avengers film. That's the thing. The only thing downside to it is I don't really see it as the Captain America film. I don't see it as a Captain America film.
The only thing is sort of
the backstory thing with the parents and stuff like that.
I like that.
And obviously the conflict. I think Tony knew about this, didn't he? He knew about this. No, he didn't know about it. It was Bucky and Steve that knew about it. And when it was revealed, there was a lot of emotion in there because these guys are
he wanted to kill Bucky, and then he chose Bucky, and that's created the disconnect that leads right up to Infinity War and Endgame.
And what's that?
Was that the one with the elevator scene?
The elevator scenes.
Was that Winter Soldier?
There's 2 elevator scenes, isn't there? There's one.
That one was in Endgame.
Yeah, they didn't fight.
Was it Civil War and Infinity? Yeah, the Endgame one they didn't fight.
They just kind of.
Shall we get started?
Yeah.
Beats the shit out of Crossbones and Brock Rumble and all those sort of Hydra.
It was more civilised than Endgame, but.
Was it Civil War?
I think it might. Was it the Winter Soldier? I can't remember, John. It's been that long since I saw it, but.
No, it was definitely Winter Soldier. Civil War, he was Crossbones. He died right at the start.
The treaty as well. Was this the one where half of them were signing it and the other half weren't?
Yeah, it was that treaty of
Sokovian
Accord or something like that. Yeah, that was that one.
Yeah.
And that was just the whole vibe, this sort of a splintered Avengers, and then with Bucky Barnes in the middle and Steve Rogers' obsession of saving his friend and bringing them back from the sort of abyss. It's an excellent movie. It's one of the best movies, and Stephen, it's culmination of it. One of, for me, probably the best trilogy. It's the trilogy.
I think I'm looking more at excellent. I really am.
Yeah, it's high excellent. When you look at the movies above, I don't think it's quite on the level of them, but
there is bits in it that, I think so.
There is going to be a Captain America. I think it is going into excellent. I don't know if you agree with me, but certainly in my mind anyway.
Yeah.
This is the first Avenger, isn't it?
Yeah, John, I love this film. I've got to be honest with you. If from my age group, when I was 13 or 14, and I saw The Rocketeer, and it's the same director, Joe Johnston, I had that same kind of feel to it when I went to see that. Just the look of it, that sort of all-American hero from that time period in the 1940s, and being a super soldier. And I thought the ending was amazing, the way they executed that with the mock radio commentary on the baseball. I think it was. He was at that game.
He was at that game.
And it was just fantastic the way he ran out and he's in Times Square. Just everything about it. It's just an incredible film. The relationship between him and Peggy Carter. The CG, John, I thought was fantastic. The way they slimmed.
He obviously had the Hobbit.
Chris Evans.
Hobbit boot feet thing on.
It's probably dated now. It probably is dated technology and visuals, John. But at the time, I was blown away with it. I thought they just did. I just didn't think it was possible to do that in this day and age, but It's obviously came on leaps and bounds since then. Our introduction to Bucky Barnes as well.
Yeah, Bucky Barnes.
We lose him, don't we?
We
lose,
do, yeah. He is presumed to be dead.
Yeah.
Obviously, he does crash into the ice. You've got Peggy Carter in there as well, Hayley Atwell, I believe, who she spun off her own TV show, which I've not seen. Yeah, Steve, I love this movie as well. It's part of my favourite times in the actual MCU, where we're still establishing these titanic characters who are going to become,
I think it's a good film.
Anchors. Yeah, I think it's good. It's not excellent.
It's better than Avengers, Age of Ultron and Black Widow, I believe.
It's better than Ant-Man as well, so we're doing this sequential. I'll tell you that right now. That is sequential. Left to right, left being better, right being worse.
Yeah.
In that case. I think Stephen, that's fair. It's a good movie. Yeah. You can maybe go up to a 7.9, you can go down to a 6 depending on your mood. But yeah, really, really good movie, and it's the introduction to Steve Rogers. What more do you want? The Winter Soldier, Stephen, for me that is really excellent.
Yep.
It's one of the greatest
movies. This is James Bond born Mission Impossible stuff. Yeah. All rolled into an MCU film for me. It's just got everything that you want: spy, thriller, action, and I loved the relationship between Steve Rogers and Natasha in this film as well. They bonded really well in this, and there was a lot of investigating on it. It was almost like an X-Files episode on steroids. And Nick Fury, I was about to say Cage. Nick Fury. Nick Fury for me excelled in this film. I thought I don't think he's excelled in this in any other film, not even Captain Marvel. This was his moment as well. That bit in the car when they were shooting the car, and somehow he got out of it.
Yeah,
phenomenal
character. That was an epic moment. Yeah. The highway sequence when the Winter Soldier comes out, and I think he uses the door. Just amazing. The look, the hair, the mask,
and when he realises it's Bucky as well. What a moment!
Yeah, that was epic.
Yeah,
and just that dynamic between those two, and then the ending where he's trying to connect with his friend. They're on that sort of glass. The ship's crashing. You've got different perspectives. I believe the Hulk gets jettisoned at one point and ends up
we don't see him again, don't we?
Yeah, we don't see him for a good bit. Ragnarok. Potentially. Just an epic movie, Steve. It's one of the greatest ever, for all the reasons you mentioned.
I think it was Age of Ultron. They're all blending in now, John. This is the thing. But I mean, they've still got, I don't remember moments. Good moments, yeah. Yeah,
I mean, for me, the Winter Soldier, we only watched it again a year and a bit back.
That's right, yeah, we reviewed it, yeah.
Reviews of all the Captain America. Well, I think it was that Civil War that we watched it.
What's that all about, yeah?
I don't know. But yeah, it's excellent, it's special, it speaks for itself.
Yeah.
Captain Marvel?
John, I had high hopes for this film, and if you have anyone watches, I don't know, it was one of the early shows, not garbage, but I liked this film initially, and then I watched it the second viewing, and I went, a bit of Last Jedi, and that kind of thing, you know, just kind of hoping it's going to be really good. It was really built up, and the fact that we kind of read up in the history of the character, the whole DC Marvel thing as well, intriguing as well to see how they're going to handle this. But the whole promotion of this film just went wrong.
Yeah, people don't like Brie, and Brie doesn't like certain people.
So. Yeah, I mean, I don't really care about things like that. In terms of the film, there was moments in it that just made me cringe. In terms of Nick Fury running.
Yeah.
Listen, Samuel Jackson's an
Fury
elder.
Getting the eye patch from a fucking cat.
Yeah, I mean, he's
running.
He's
an alien, but
you know, Samuel Jackson's an older gentleman. He can't run the way he did 30 years ago, like he did in Die Hard with a Vengeance.
Yeah.
And you saw that, and we saw that in Irishman as well. When
Robert De Niro, I thought the de-aging was outstanding for
the visuals.
Fury.
Yeah, the visuals.
Very, very good.
It was more the motion than anything.
And I did like the sort of flashback sequences, I think, for Danvers, and the fact it was set in the 90s.
Yeah.
It was an interesting setting. For me, it didn't quite live up though, and for that reason, I would be swinging it in between poor and average. I don't know where you want to put it.
I would maybe put it in the average just now, John, and then when we'll see if we've got really some humdingers in there, then we can go and do something that's actually better than Captain Marvel.
Would you rate it better than Black Widow?
No, I don't think it's as good as Black Widow. Black Widow at least was some sort of enjoyment.
We'll just put these right into haven't watched.
Yeah, don't know what they are, John.
Maybe some of these I've never heard of.
But I'd appreciate anyone recommending any of these if they're any good.
Yeah, it would be.
All Hail the King. I've never heard of that. I don't know what that is.
Yeah, I don't know what that is either,
Cloak and
Stephen.
Dagger. No.
Daredevil season 1, I presume this is.
Wow.
I mean, this could go right up to excellent.
This
it
is
could go to good.
fantastic, John. This, for me, I can only speak for myself. This is excellent.
Yeah.
This is the one that opened the door.
Yeah,
And this is the one.
agree.
And this is the one Netflix took a chance on. And I think Kevin Feige went, shit, they're doing it right over there. We need to get these characters back. We need to be doing what they're doing for TV. And they are doing it now, to be fair.
Yeah.
But John, 2014 we were talking about this, I think it was. Correct me if I'm wrong, 2015. I thought, wow, how violent is this? The action in it and how dark. And that, having Vincent D'Onofrio as the Kingpin. I hated him. I know I've talked about this probably in a review, John, but I you know, when an episode finished, I was like, I need to watch the next one, because he always get the upper hand, or there was some smugness about him at the end of every episode, and I went, no, the next one, I've got to watch the next one, because I want to see him getting his comeuppance, and he did get his comeuppance eventually. But phenomenal. Charlie Cox as well, John. I didn't hear this guy before this series. I didn't know who he was.
Steve, it was that sequence in the sort of corridor where he's taking on 15, 20 guys.
Yeah.
The choreography.
Yeah.
And then this double life aspect, I've always enjoyed this. I enjoyed it about Arrow, Oliver Queen. There was elements of that show I didn't enjoy, but certainly the double life.
I always forget his friend's name.
Batman, yeah. Foggy.
Was
it Foggy?
Foggy Nelson, yeah.
Foggy Nelson, and you had the girl as well, the ginger actress.
Yeah, I can't remember her character's name, but
I liked the dynamic of those three, and just slowly they began to discover this alter ego of, obviously, I'm blanking on his name just now for some reason. Matt Murdock.
Matt Murdock.
Matt Murdock. Yeah. For me, it's an excellent show.
Yeah, fantastic.
Absolutely
Loved
outstanding. Everything about it, the storytelling, having the balls to take Kingpin and make him the adversary in a Daredevil TV show when he's traditionally been the arch nemesis of Peter Parker.
Yeah,
and doing it right though.
Yeah, they did.
Because it's difficult to scale, but very impressive just the way they worked the two lives. Season 2, I mean, Stephen, I don't know if we would put season 2. I mean, I personally think the entire trilogy of seasons were excellent.
Yeah, I think so, John.
Excellent.
Yeah, I would go so, because
best.
you're getting your man in there. The second one, he got his own show, Punisher,
John Grenfell,
yeah, it was just up the game. We all thought he was going to be the villain in this, but I'm like, but he can't be, because the Punisher's more an anti-hero.
He's an anti-hero, yeah.
But phenomenal, John. The whole trilogy, just, it's flawless for me, and I was so sad when Netflix cancelled these shows. I know we got the ensemble one with Iron Fist and
Defenders.
Jessica,
I never seen that.
Which was okay, but it wasn't Daredevil for me.
The reason I didn't see it is because I actually didn't watch, I think, Iron Fist, and I didn't want to go into Defenders until I'd seen it, and I never did watch Iron Fist.
It got to the point where, John, I can remember you and I watching all the Netflix Marvel stuff, but we were also watching all the DC Flash stuff as well, the Flash, the Arrow and stuff like that, and there was just too much going on, wasn't there? It was all blending into one at one point. I was starting to think, what universe are we in here? You know, we're such and such. They're in DC. What are you talking about?
Yeah, Stephen, excellent.
Yeah, excellent.
I completely agree. I think that is the gold standard for Marvel themed TV shows. Yeah. The writing's exquisite, the action's exquisite, the scaling on a much smaller budget comparative to what Disney are doing with Disney Plus and their Marvel TV shows. Just an outstanding job with Charlie Cox and everyone involved.
I totally
Vincent D'Onofrio, you've got a fucking Oscar caliber.
Yeah, he's incredible, yeah.
Doctor Strange.
This is a tough one, John. I love this film. Absolutely love it. But is it in an excellent? I don't know.
I think it's good.
I think it's borderline excellent.
It is borderline good. I mean, it's in the borderline for sure.
Yeah. It's just like,
I really enjoy it.
There was always those two films that stood out for me in those first three phases, John, that I always liked. They were kind of underdogs, and one of them was Ant-Man, the other one was Doctor Strange. It's just an origins film about this character, and there's so many sort of parallels between Stephen Strange and Neo in the Matrix, the way they introduce the character and how he's trained, and the maturity in the character as well, especially with Doctor Stephen Strange. I felt his growth.
Tune off camera here.
His growth throughout that film was phenomenal. From being this obnoxious, was he a neurosurgeon? Wasn't it a neurosurgeon? Was he a neurosurgeon? Yeah. Just arrogant and cocky. I don't mind that. I actually did like the character, but he was a bit of a shit. By the end, very much like Tony Stark, just matured through one film. Whereas I think Tony Stark, it took him quite a long time to mature.
He was a dick stick though at the start, wasn't he? Really,
Yeah.
So self-absorbed, and probably right to the end self-absorbed.
Yeah.
But he at least became selfless
Yeah.
enough to sacrifice himself for his daughter.
Yeah.
And the greater good that came
John,
with that.
we get one of the greatest sequences in Doctor Strange as well. That repeated.
Yeah, and Andromeda.
Oh,
yeah.
I loved that.
Also introduces Wong, introduces this sort of sanctums throughout the world. The ancient one, Tilda Swinton.
Yeah.
So many really good moments in here. For me, the car crash is epic.
Yeah.
The moment he is thrust out of his body for the first time.
Goes through the dashboard.
And he goes through all of time and existence. Just visually brilliant. Benedict Cumberbatch, who doesn't like Benedict?
You get, obviously, your villain is your...
I always blank his name.
It's your man from...
Mads Mikkelsen.
Mads Mikkelsen, yeah.
I'm thinking about the other guy that actually goes rogue.
Yeah. And
he's borderline villain. Well, he's not a villain in multiverse. You think he's going to be, but he's actually a multiversal version.
Yeah.
Who does end up wanting to kill Strange for some other reason.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, it's a brilliant movie, Steve. And as you say, it's almost like a metaphor for modern day society. People have become less spiritual, more obsessed with materialistic things.
And the visuals as well, John. It reminded me so much of Inception.
Oh yeah, the way
the buildings all folded
the chase
in.
sequence with him and your man Mads Mikkelsen's character.
My dad went to see this in 3D with
that'd been brilliant in 3D.
And I missed out. I wish I did see this one in 3D.
It would have been epic in 3D. Stephen, it's definitely high good for me.
Yeah.
Could tip into excellent, but high good.
Yeah.
Multiverse of Madness, sadly, is poor for me. Have you seen this one?
Yeah. I saw it and I said, I don't know how you're going to like this, John.
Yeah, absolutely. You
because I felt that the film was not a Doctor Strange film, first and foremost.
No,
it was more Wanda Maximoff.
Yeah, and now she's done.
Yeah.
Brilliant.
There was some good moments in it, John. I thought the actual walking corpse thing was fantastic. The way it was done. There was a lot of things. There was the kid in it as well.
America Chavez,
it was more about, obviously, her sort of story as well. I felt Doctor Strange for me was the master of ceremonies in his own film. He was carrying everyone else's story through his sort of his vision, if you like, and he was part of the audience with us. It just felt weird. It didn't feel like the first one. There was no tonally, it just didn't work at all.
It just felt like the natural continuation of WandaVision.
Yeah.
That's where she's went rogue, she's went a bit wacky. She's going after her kids in this multiverse, not letting go. And he obviously is the good version, the yin to the yang of her. She's went crazy. We need an equally powerful force to combat that. And he's just holding things together so America Chavez can somehow put a span on the works and semi-defeat her.
Yeah.
But that's not Doctor Strange. A Doctor Strange movie should be him front and centre, leading the charge. He is your main character, and that's not what happened in this movie.
Definitely
sadly.
not, no.
And it gave me one of the most disappointing things I've ever seen. But you introduce Mr. Fantastic, is that what his name is?
Yeah.
Blanking on his name as well. Doing a lot of blanking tonight. I'm getting a lot of names and I'm missing a lot of names.
Yeah,
but,
from The Office, yeah. He's a director. He's married to Emily Blunt.
Why am I blanking his fucking name?
John, that whole sequence for me was a big letdown. When you're getting Patrick Stewart back, obviously, to, obviously, John Krasinski.
I knew it was John.
And
just
everything about it just fell off. It was such a anticlimax, and I don't know if it was maybe because it was on the back of No Way Home and getting to see Toby and Andrew back. Getting to see Patrick Stewart should have been as epic, I felt, because just a great character.
It was a good scene though in terms of visually.
Yeah,
when the darkness started to take him.
I liked that when she took the mouth away.
Yeah, that was good. Yeah,
I did laugh at that. But
one word from his mouth and you'll be nothing. What mouth? I like Wonder Man. I think she's
so
great.
So do I, John. And we will get to WandaVision, I'm pretty sure, and it certainly won't be sitting in the poor.
First and foremost, so we're going to put Hellstrom in there because that's another one I've never heard of.
Humans not seen that either.
Not seen. We'll get to the other ones. I'm sure.
Right, 47.
We'll
don't
put
know
that
what
in
that is.
There. We'll just get rid of all these ones we've not seen right now. Runaways, I've never even heard of this.
John, we're going to get to the embarrassing stage where we're going to have to admit we've not seen Moon Knight.
Yeah, I've not seen Moon Knight. I'll just put that right in there.
Yeah, it has to be.
I have to watch.
What's this?
Yeah,
Team Dow.
I've not seen any of these. I don't think anyone has. judging on some of the tier listings I've seen previously.
Yeah.
Moon Knight I'm going to put at the top just because it's a different calibre
Yeah.
to all this other shit. You just
we
not
will
get
get
round to
there.
it.
Yeah, we will get there.
That's Oscar Isaac, you know that's going to be great. Not seen any of this nonsense, not seen
Defenders is
You've
okay.
seen it, you've seen it, so we'll leave that.
We'll get to it, John.
I Am Groot I've not seen yet.
No,
It's just
not
little
seen
short 20-minute episodes.
Or
so.
Ms. Marvel. Where have we been? I'll tell you where we've been. We've been doing a lot of watch-along series when all these dropped. That's the problem.
And we had no time.
Yeah.
Absolutely no time whatsoever.
Yeah,
I've seen the rest though. Well, I mean, I've not seen Iron Fist, but you have. So I've not seen Eternals, Stephen, but you have. Where
John,
would you put Eternals?
For me, a lot of people find this film a little bit disjointed, and I've got to agree. It doesn't feel like it's part of the MCU, but that's not to say it's not a good film. Or maybe average. It's somewhere in between. Yeah, I mean, visually it's a cracking short film. The ensemble cast, I thought Angelina Jolie, it's Angelina Jolie. I thought was that film? Penelope Cruz.
Madden. Just I've not seen this movie.
A fantastic film, and you get your Barry Keoghan in there as well.
Keegan.
Keoghan.
I can never say it. It's like Martin McDonagh. You've got Brian Tyree Henry.
I can't remember.
Camille Nanjiani.
Yep. Yeah.
A little weird 12-year-old kid.
Nicola Sturgeon. Yeah. John, I felt
creeped me out.
I felt the film was a good story. It was a good story and visually shot, but there's something off about it. I don't know what it was. I think it just doesn't feel like the MCU. There was references and given reason why they never interfered with the Thanos stuff and all that, and I just thought I can't buy into that at all. This guy was about to end
everything,
and they've not stepped in. I get that there's rules and stuff like that, but for me it's probably an average film. Maybe people will disagree with that.
Above Black Widow and Miss.
I think it's probably the best of the average. I would say that.
I think it's better than the
Age of Ultron. Yeah, I think so. Yeah.
Okay, I'll leave that to you because I don't know. I've not seen it, and I'm not planning on seeing it either. Guardians of the Galaxy, Stephen. For me, I've got the sort of James Gunn blinkers on. I would put this right into high good, potentially excellent. In fact, I would definitely put it into excellent.
I think it's bold, John.
Just for the cinematic experience. I dragged you along to the cinema to see this.
John, I always remember you said, I'm going to see Guardians of the Galaxy. Do you want to come? I went, what the fuck's this? And you went, it's an MCU film. I went, hold on. Went and saw the trailer and I went, oh, it looks okay. I went, doesn't feel like an MCU film, and it didn't. That was a good thing though. It was something different, John.
First time we get that injection of different kind of
humour. And you've got to thank this film as well for the change in tone for Thor as well, because the Dark World, I know we'll get to it, it was stuffy and just Shakespearean, and it was just so boring. This film opened up a genre for Thor to fit into, thanks to the likes of Chris Pratt and all
James
these
Gunn.
Great characters that were introduced as well.
Zoe Saldana,
Rocket, Groot, Gamora, etc. John, and just a great film. I think we always forget
the name of the villain.
The blue face guy. Yeah, he was
something
in
the Destroyer. No, that's Drax.
He was in. He was in the Hobbit films. He played one of the elves. The actor that is.
Yeah, I know his face.
But I can't remember.
I really like Ronan.
Ronan, that was it. Yeah.
Ronan, the Conqueror, something like that.
Yeah, something like that. Yeah.
Not Cat's King the Conqueror. Ronan the something anyway.
Ronan the Barbarian.
He was a good villain.
Yeah.
Very imposing with the dance off at the end. Just the utilisation of music. I was howling. Very first moment.
It was amazing.
Obviously kicks in. You've got Peter Quill dancing onto the stage. Not literally, he's dancing on this alien planet with his Sony Walkman.
He's kicking those little ferret things
picking up a fucking Infinity Stone.
Yeah.
And then obviously just the visuals, it was just great. This bunch of strange bedfellows, they don't belong together, but they are together, and they're like this strange dysfunctional family. Just brilliant, man. For me, it's excellent. It's one of the best MCU movies, and still much better than the second one, which I'm sure we'll get into just now, Stephen. Which
I still can't believe that's Bradley Cooper that voices Rocket. It's incredible.
Yeah. Vin Diesel does Groot.
Yeah. One of the.
I am Groot.
He must have get paid a shit ton for doing that as well.
Oh, he would have. Yeah. It's Vin Diesel
for one
Vin
line.
Diesel.
Yeah.
Diesel time.
Volume 2, John, was a letdown for me.
Average to me, Steve.
I felt
could even slip into.
I felt it's got the same cast coming back. It's got Kurt Russell in there. That can't go wrong. I don't know. I think it's those gold people in it. I didn't like.
I can't bring myself to put it in poor.
I've only watched this film once, John, and it was when we were in the cinema. I've never went back to it.
But I was still laughing at it.
Yeah, there was
and the
moments
music
in
was
it.
still
Yeah,
great.
yeah, but
You had ELO at the start.
I just feel that it just didn't live up to expectations.
No.
For me, and it certainly isn't a patch on the original
I think
film.
it's because the original is so good.
Yeah, I think that's it. Yep.
It's so good that you've got huge shoes to fill.
It's the same with Multiverse of Madness. It had huge shoes to fill. That's a hard thing to say.
Look, Kurt Russell, I love Kurt. He's one of my all-time favourite actors. Ego, the de-aging was fantastic.
Yeah.
Here's just something that didn't work for me, and for me, I can't put it in poor. I simply can't.
No.
I had too good a time still watching it in the theatres, laughing at Drax in particular, and just Mantis is introduced, I believe, at this point, potentially. So there's still good elements in there. That
the lady with the antennas,
it's better than Black Widow.
Yeah,
for sure, it's better than Black Widow.
Yeah,
it's not as good as Age of Ultron. It's probably like I don't know, it's like a 5 out of 10. It's average.
Yeah, I think that's fair. Yeah.
Middle average. Hawkeye.
John, this brings us back to our
You
watch
put in
along,
average?
which we kind of cut short thanks to you having a mishap with your shaver. I think we were getting good views as well.
We weren't really, no, it was up 30.
I think you should look at the views now.
Are they up?
Yeah, they're very much up, yeah. But,
are they?
Yeah.
Really? Didn't know that.
They're actually decent views, considered. John, for me, it was a paint by numbers, very much like Black Widow. For me, it was a series we didn't really need in terms of giving Hawkeye a backstory. Clinton Barton, love the actor, but I think this... I
tell you what, I loved that. What I did with the thumbnail. The thumbnail was
outstanding. The font was incredible as well.
Yeah, it was absolutely bang on.
But I felt there was just something... I didn't find it interesting as much as I thought it would be. Some great action sequences, I must add. There was a fantastic one with the arrows and all the different things. I think some PIM technology was introduced into those arrows as well.
It was becoming like a bomb and stuff like that, and then you had a net and you had foam and you had explosive stuff.
Yeah, I mean, there was some good stuff in there, but...
I like Kate Bishop. She was slightly unlikable at the start. She was this sort of rich child, quite me, narcissistic. And she does go on a journey by the end. I'm still not having her as a natural successor to Clint Barton, who's this ultimate family man.
What's that? I'm trying to remember her name. The actress's name. John. She's in the films, those horror films you like. I can't remember her name.
Vera Farmiga.
Vera, yeah.
Yeah.
Her character, I did not like, and not for the right reasons. I just did not like.
Steve, have you never seen The Conjuring?
I've never seen The Conjuring.
Conjuring, man, it's outstanding.
I don't like horror films.
Is that James Wan? Pretty sure it's James Wan.
James Wan,
so good.
Yeah,
so good.
And you've got your man
Patrick Wilson.
Yeah.
It's really good, man. They're really good horror movies.
I don't know. I just felt Vera Farmiga's character in Hawkeye was just not that great.
Yeah, and also you had
there's just a weird relationship she had.
the sort of boyfriend thing.
Yeah.
He was just gimpish to me.
And I just felt her character was so obvious where they were going with it, you know. It just wasn't great.
Yeah. Would you agree? Average, though?
I think it's average. I mean, the action
No,
I think the action sequences just carry over the poor thing. I thought the action was good.
Jeremy Renner. Who can't love Jeremy?
Who'd have thought Multiverse of Madness would be only a poor film up to now?
Well, we'll get there.
Incredible.
There'll be more getting added. Don't worry about it. Incidentally, not spoken about Jeremy and his accident with the snowplow. What a guy. Just an absolute titan of a figure.
I hope he bounces back.
It looks like he is. It looks as though he's getting massaging. What sort of physiotherapy done in his leg? Remarkably intact. So that's a miracle. And he deserves it. If anyone deserves a miracle, it's this guy. He does a lot for charity. A good guy. Iron Fist. I've not seen any of Iron Fist.
To give you an idea, John Campaire's coverage of this Danny character, I can't remember his second name. He said he was like a martial arts version of Kevin from Home Alone. Quite brattish. So take that what you will, but there was moments in it that interest me, John. But
it looks like Peter Quill.
Yeah,
going wrong.
There was a lot of flipping and flopping in terms of story, and there was no consistency. It was going in places, and then it would change, and the characters would flip flop from being good to evil, and then vice versa, and all that. And I was like, this had so much potential. This and the actual visuals for his fists did look good, and I thought, perhaps maybe we're putting up against Daredevil, Jessica Jones and Luke Cage, and I thought, is that fair? But now time has passed, it is its poor relation for those other three characters. Had so much potential, and probably if you told me at the start of these four characters that we're going to be introducing, he would have probably been second to Daredevil in terms of anticipation, but such a letdown.
Yeah, where are you putting it?
I think it's poor. I've got to say it is poor.
And we're moving on to Iron Man, Steve. This is Iron Man 2 though, I believe.
Yeah, the first one's the third one in that list for some reason.
Free, isn't
that's
it?
Yeah.
Iron Man, Stephen, where are you putting it?
Film,
Iron Man, I think, as good as it is, and it's set the ball rolling in terms of this universe, I don't think it can go higher than the Doctor Strange level.
It can. I think it's in par.
It's good.
Yeah, I think it's in par, John. It is a good film.
But it's too simplistic. I mean, there's nothing wrong with simplistic.
It's safe. They've got to play it safe with that first film, John.
And they did. In the moment at the end, I'm Iron Man.
Yeah.
I think he had lived it in. I don't think it was part of the script.
I think we got Luke Cage, I'm saying again. I think we get Nick Fury. That's the one. At the end as well, dropping the sort of ball and thinking, what are they doing here? This is interesting. And then obviously when we got the Incredible Hulk, it all started to connect, but I'm sure we'll get to that. Yeah, a good film, John.
Is it really below Daredevil?
We got Terrence, I always forget his second name. It's Terrence, can't remember his name. He played the character before Don
Terrence
Cheadle. Howard, yeah, Terrence Howard. And such a transition, John, that you don't even, I'm not saying you don't remember him, he's a good actor. I think he's fantastic in other films.
Some Ed Norton into Mark Ruffalo.
I just felt it was
recast perfectly.
Yeah.
But Steve, man, I'm looking at, is it worse than Daredevil?
The villain in this is Jeff Bridges with a bald head and a magnificent beard. I appreciate it how it kicked things off, John.
It's good.
And I think I'm pretty sure this came out the same year as The Dark Knight. I'm pretty sure Robert Downey Jr. perhaps was maybe up for.
It was 2007, yeah.
For an award for this. It's a good film. I wouldn't say it's any better than Doctor Strange, to be honest with you. The next two films I kind of think they're the same, John. I think they're poor.
Yeah.
I don't think they're that great at all.
Yeah, I agree. They just go right in.
I think that's incredible when you think how big a Iron Man fans we are. But for some reason in his own films, he's not as good. I think sometimes Robert Downey Jr. as an actor needs other good actors to bounce off of, and he excels in that. When you see him going up against the likes of Chris Evans and the two of them are sort of sparring, it brings out the best in both of those actors.
You seen Mickey Rourke, shite? Mickey
Rourke, John, I've seen the wrestler.
He was a cool villain in the second movie, but for whatever reason it
was a revenge thing, wasn't it? It was like Taken 2, it was just...
If you could have smell-o-vision just now, let me just say my dog's farted, and that's a sort of smell manifestation, and an aromatic manifestation of what we think of Iron Man 3 and potentially 2. Certainly Iron Man 3 though. Ben Kingsley couldn't save that movie. This is another guy who's an Oscar caliber actor.
Yeah.
Just shit.
Jessica Jones, John.
Jessica! It's not Daredevil for me, Stephen.
No, John, I'm going to confess here, I don't remember seeing season 2 or season 3 of this. I can't remember.
I've definitely seen all of them.
I probably did, but
I don't remember them, but I've seen
all blending in. But if we want to do it collectively,
I've definitely seen them all.
I did like it. I've got to be honest, I did like it, but it's not as good as Daredevil. It's not a patch on Daredevil.
But are we putting it into good?
I would say average, because the next lot that we're going to talk about in Luke Cage, I would say probably the same.
Are we putting all of them in at average? I can't recall the third or second season if there was a drop off.
Luke Cage for me, I know we'll get to it, but I think the quality was probably the same standard as Jessica Jones.
Was Luke Cage one with Mahershala Ali?
That's what I'm going to get to, John.
They fucking ruined it.
I would have put that up higher if they didn't fucking kill him off Cottonmouth.
We'll do that just now.
Yeah.
We'll jump to that.
It really annoyed me the way they did that. And I
can only assume Mahershala had a tight schedule and didn't want to, or couldn't do anymore.
I think they got what they could from him and maximised that. I can't even
remember which one's the poster for season 1. Season 1 with Mahershala really sure. Bumps it up above the second for me.
I would say that first one there, John's probably the first one. I'm just guessing
one.
there. It just looks like
that
it.
goes up to average for me.
Yeah,
it's
I think
on a par with Jessica Jones.
But they're okay. They're
the
fine.
second one, not so much for me.
I can't remember the second one.
I'm marking it down because it doesn't have my hair. And do you agree with me? Do you want to put it in there? But maybe put it below Hawkeye.
I would put it below Hawkeye. Yeah.
Hawkeye.
Yeah.
Loki. I really enjoyed Loki. I thought it was outstanding. It's not excellent, but it's certainly right up there with the likes of Iron Man.
John, just everything about that complex storyline. This was the first time they really dabbled in this whole multiverse thing, and really attuning us and conditioning us as audience members into what was to come. And they're still doing it. I mean, obviously we've had the Multiverse of Madness, we've had No Way Home, and this was the introduction to it. We're going to get obviously in Ant-Man 3 as well. For this, Tom Hiddleston for me is a fantastic actor. Loved him in this. I actually prefer him in this as Loki as I did in any of the films he appeared as Loki for some reason.
You're adding more humanity to a god.
I think so as well. I think there's a lot of complexities, and there was times where I thought, I don't know if I trust him, but I think that was the point. You know, it was that. Can we trust him in that little creepy clock thing as well, the animated clock?
Yeah, Miss Time.
Yeah.
Something like that. Mrs.
Minute or something
Minute.
like that. Yeah.
Miss Minute.
Yeah.
Castellar says best Captain America films and Ant-Man films. I don't know if you mean you think they're the best or what we think's the best, because if you're asking me, there is only 2 Ant-Man movies, so for me Ant-Man 2 is better than Ant-Man 1. There's not much in it, but I just think more complexity, slightly better villains.
Yeah.
And just adding more lore to this world, the quantum realm. Hank Pym, Michelle Pfeiffer comes back as Janet Van Dyne. You've got the ensemble being built for what's going to be an epic third Ant-Man movie. Can't wait to see Quantumania. Captain America, for me, it's the Winter Soldier, Civil War, then the first Avenger. Self-explanatory, really.
Yeah.
For me, the Winter Soldier's right up. As you can see, we've rated it as one of the 3 special MCU movies so far. There's more to do, but I don't know if they'll go up there. Potentially they will when you see some of the ones there.
Yeah.
There's some Sony Spider-Man ones there.
That's good, John. I'm glad they've introduced them, because I remember when, I know we'll get to it, I remember when we were sitting watching No Way Home and I thought, technically, Andrew Garfield and Tobey Maguire's films are now MCU.
Yeah, because they've appeared.
Yeah.
And the connection has been made.
I love that. Yeah.
But yeah, where were we? What one was that we were talking about there? We were talking about Loki.
Loki.
Richard E. Grant as well as this sort of OG comic book version of Loki.
I'm trying to remember the actress's name, the English actress, John, that came in.
Oh God, yeah.
And she played the female version of Loki. I can't remember her name. Sylvia, wasn't it?
Sylvia was the name of the character.
I can't remember the actor's name.
I'll never get her name, but she was really good.
I always thought she'd make a great Doctor Who. I just thought this is amazing, and
can't afford her now.
And some, definitely, and some of that tonally reminded me of Doctor Who as well.
Stephen,
so, there you are.
Yeah, there you go. There you are.
Break the silence.
I'm just looking at Morbius. I've only seen like the first 20 minutes of Morbius, and it's gone right into poor for me.
I've not seen it, John, so I can't even comment.
Fucking dreadful movie.
I don't know if it was maybe
I'm
Sin.
not even gave it a full chance.
I can't remember if it was Sin that put me off. We were supposed to do a review with Sin, and I don't know what it was. I think you were not well, John. And time had just passed, and
I think I had norovirus.
Yeah, and I think we just missed it.
It was a bad time for me.
It really was. Yeah,
I'm glad we missed it. It got released again and again and again in the theatres, and it fought every single time.
I think in terms of Jared Leto, I think he should just stay clear of comic books.
He should, yeah.
He's
not a bad one,
and he's a great actor. So it's just been bad luck more than anything.
It is.
It's like your agent.
Yes, exactly.
Punisher,
Stop
John.
hiding out in the fucking desert.
Punisher. I've only seen season 1 of Punisher.
Punisher is. If Daredevil's excellent, then season 1 of Punisher is definitely.
It was fantastic, John, as I recall, but I can't remember season 2.
I have to put it.
I might have had burnout by that point. I can't remember. But if you've seen it and you think it's excellent, John, then it's got to go there.
If we're putting Daredevil there, then Punisher's certainly up there.
I love
really dark, really
complex
storytelling, something you would probably not see.
John, do you hope to see this?
I'd love to see John Bernthal coming back. Anything John Bernthал's in is watchable, just for him alone. Really cool guy as well. A cool cat, as he'd probably say.
Yeah.
He's got a podcast on YouTube. I could listen to this guy talking for hours.
We watched a film with him in it not that long ago.
He
was a teacher.
The one with the teacher.
He was a teacher in it. I can't remember what it was. I think it was one we reviewed. We didn't watch along. We just reviewed it. I can't remember.
I know he was in Fury. I know he played Sean Walsh, was it? And why am I blanking the name of this? Walking Dead.
Yeah.
So I've been following this guy for like fucking 22 years, or 12 years. I can't even do maths. And he was outstanding as a Punisher. So for me, that has to go into excellent. If you're putting Daredevil, then that is no worse than Daredevil.
Yeah.
Certainly. That goes up to excellent for me. Shang-Chi, we're going to have different opinions on this. We may have to come to a common agreement. For me, Shang-Chi is a high good film. I fucking loved it. It's one of my favourites of that last phase there. We're now moving into a new phase with Ant-Man.
Well,
for me,
John,
that was the standout alongside Spider-Man.
I can make this simple for myself. Is it better than Age of Ultron?
Absolutely.
Guardians Volume 2, etc.? Yes. Is it any better than Iron Man, Doctor Strange? No. I think it's in par with them.
I think it's in between the Ant-Man movies.
Yeah. John, it's not that I hate the film or anything like that. It's just, I don't know what it was. I don't know if it was maybe just watching it and I just wasn't getting into it. I didn't see this in the cinema, unfortunately. I think if I seen it in the cinema, it might have changed my mind. We always talk about this. You're always in tune and you concentrate obviously that more you're in the cinema, but there's something, I don't know if it was in the sitting, I don't know if my kids were probably running riot and I can't get into this at all. You know, I was just agitated with the film. Visually it's a stunning piece of work as well.
Score is outstanding.
And
Simu Liu, same age as me, guys doing God's work.
Yeah. And it's a good character. It's got great potential, you know, going forward in this MCU, John, as well. It's been a very strong, powerful character, a leader, I feel like. So there's great potential there, John. So that's why I would say it's good.
And the father figure, one of the best villainous turns, I think, in an MCU movie. It's just a tragic story of this guy. He couldn't let go of his wife, and he just went down this dark, sort of malevolent path.
Yeah.
Just a really, really good movie for me. It's right up there with the rest.
Oh, we're getting to a good one.
Is this Spider-Man 2? Shall we do... we'll just go with that. Spider-Man 2 is fucking excellent.
One of the greatest comic book films ever made, John, across Marvel, across DC, whatever you want to call it.
I'm rating it above.
Everything about this. Doc Ock, you've obviously got Alfred Molina in there. Some great lines from that guy, just his bouncing off of young Peter Parker. And we get obviously some of that playback in No Way Home, which we'll get to as well, John. But just visually, it's up the game from the first movie as well. I love the first movie in terms of an origins film. I know we've seen the Peter Parker story told too many times now, but the second one for me just went in a different direction, took a bit of darkness there as well. And there was a lot of complexities with obviously Harry, the James Franco character, and Peter as well. And obviously the death of Willem Dafoe's character, Green Goblin. I can't remember what's his name again. Harry Osborn.
Osborn, yeah. Was it Harry?
Well, Harry's the boy. What's Norman?
Norman Osborn.
You know, just that haunting Harry. You know, and obviously it plays into the third movie eventually. But just as a middle film, John, it's fantastic. It's just a great film visually, and the Doc Ock is one of my greatest villains.
Stephen, I grew up with this. This was my first sort of proper comic book Marvel movie.
This is the one he's trying to juggle everything. He's trying to be Peter Parker. He's trying to be the good boyfriend, the great nephew to his aunt, and try to hold down a job in college. And he's failing in all these because he's trying to juggle them all, and it's just not connecting, is it?
Stephen, you've nailed it. I'm not going to add much more to it. It's the greatest Spider-Man movie ever made.
Yeah.
It's still the greatest Spider-Man movie ever made. If we get Spider-Man into the Spider-Verse in this list?
Sadly not, John.
What the fuck?
Yeah, I know. I don't know. Not there.
That would be an excellent as well.
That's a strange one, isn't it?
I'm putting that out there.
Yeah.
That would be an excellent.
Spider-Man.
Spider-Man 3 is...
it's average.
It's low average for me.
Yeah. Is it poor?
It could slip into poor.
I think it might be poor, John. Do you know that? I'm just having flashbacks to just the Venom character in that. It was terrible. There's too much going on, Sandman and stuff like that.
But this is something Sony have had issues with when they've been doing Spider-Man movies.
Too much interference, isn't there?
Yeah, but they just oversaturate it with villains, Stephen. They try to do too much. They're obsessed. They've got this...
Best moment in that film, John, was the Peter Parker walking down the street bit.
Yeah,
to the music.
In your eye.
I liked that bit, but apart from that, nah, garbage.
Yeah, I agree. Far From Home.
I like this. I do like this film. I'll be honest with you.
I would put it in low good.
I would say it's low good as well, and I think it's.
I just feel like
Mysterio. Mysterio is a good character, isn't he?
He is, yeah.
And visually, that was a mind fuck. That film, thanks to that character, just you didn't know what to believe in what you were seeing at times. It was really just, and it showed the naivety of Tom Holland's Spider-Man as well. Really highlighted that a lot in this film. Obviously, being away from his sort of comfort zone. Which I thought was strange because I thought Spider-Man needs skyscrapers and they took him away from all that, and it worked. It did work
in Venice, no less. How did they do that?
Yeah, visually, some of the set pieces was fantastic as well.
Yeah, Mysterio, as you said, Stephen, really interesting take on that character, a sort of sorcerer of manipulation, if you'd like.
I mean, I would put it in excellent if they didn't kill him off. One of the most annoying things.
Stephen, I'm going to bump it up to. I feel like it's I feel it's in that range. Do you think it's? Yeah, I feel it's in there. I think it's a little bit better than Shang-Chi, for me.
Are we saying the first Avengers the third best film out of them?
Good.
Out of good. I don't know about that.
Do you think Loki's as high as that?
Yeah, I think so. Yeah.
So we've got Iron Man, we've got Doctor Strange, the original, Captain America, the first Avenger, Loki, Ant-Man and the Wasp, Spider-Man, Far From Home, Shang-Chi, and Ant-Man.
Yeah.
I think that's
a good
fair.
assessment. Yeah.
I think that's fair. I think those are definitely better than that. I think that is just a little bit better than them. They're different kind of movies. They're simplistic, those two, compared to the stuff that's getting dabbled in these movies. This is like another generation of storytelling.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, you put Jake Gyllenhaal in any movie, Stephen, it's going to be demonstrably better because he's just a brilliant actor.
I love the costume as well, that kind of fishbowl.
Yeah.
Helmet
just
thing,
the sort of deception at the end makes his life a living hell. He plays the ace card right at the end. You're going to kill me, bitch? Well, I'm going to make your life fucking hell. And he does.
Yeah.
He loses everything because of Mysterio.
John, that's how we get a good Far From No Way Home, isn't it? It's that film that makes it.
Yeah, I mean, speaking of No Way Home, where is No Way Home?
That's that one, yeah.
Is that one there?
That's Homecoming. That's the first Tom Holland film.
Yeah, but is that Homecoming there?
Yeah.
Because that looks weird, that poster. I don't recall that being the poster.
Too much, honest.
The poster was just Spider-Man's face, and it was like, or his body, and
I think it was a train or something.
Yeah, it was a lot more simple than that. Homecoming for me is, I can't put it. I mean,
I think it's good, John.
I think it's good. It's not average. It's better.
I love Michael Keaton in this film. He's got one
terrifying in it.
He's so terrifying at times. That interrogation scene in his car really made me feel uneasy. The only issue I've got with this is probably the overuse of Tony Stark in this film, and a lot of people had a problem with this, thinking this is an Iron Man spin-off rather than a Spider-Man film.
It's a Spider-Baby movie.
Yeah. I'm glad. What I will say about this film, why I think it's a good film, is they didn't go down the origins route that they could have. We obviously got Tom Holland's Spider-Man in Civil War, so they couldn't do that anyway unless they were doing a prequel. But I thought it was great, John. I thought it was a good film. Michael Keaton, as I said, was a great villain in it. Sadly, we've not had as much of him as I would like. I thought he might have popped up somewhere along the lines in No Way Home, because we were talking about the, what they called again, the
Sinister Six.
The Sinister Six, and we were trying to...
because you had the cut scene with, was it Scorpion or something like that? And they were alluding to getting Spider-Man at some point. Yeah. And I think he was going to link. I think he actually appeared in Morbius or something like that. But I don't know if it got cut.
Yeah.
I don't know. Right. Yeah. Really weird. It's unfinished business there. It's not like Feige to drop the ball at that. So I think there may still be something in that.
But to be fair, it's more probably Sony controlled, isn't it?
Yeah. But I enjoyed the movie, Stephen. As an introduction, I agree with some of the criticisms. He's getting mollycoddled. This is one of the strongest Avengers, but he's like 16 in this movie.
Yeah.
He's still immature. Just the sequence at the end with the ship and the web and holding it together, it's just really cool.
Yeah.
Some great humour. My dog is farting. He's absolutely killing me. It's evil beyond words. Fucking hell. No Way Home. I mean, Steve, for me, I don't know about you, but that goes right up to fucking excellent.
John, this is one of the most cinematic events and experiences that I've ever had going to the cinema for the past 40 years. Just the vibe in the room at the time, it was phenomenal. John, you and I, and obviously your mum were there that night.
Yep.
We had a car crash.
We did have a car
at
crash.
the end, but I think it was just, we did the review right after it as well. I think I was still wearing my beanie at the time. It was that cold. It was December. And John, just everything about the film. One of those films that we stayed away from every spoiler, and you've got to commend the fan base as well for not spoiling the reveals like they did. Well, not a different fan base, but the likes of Star Wars films where people can't help themselves.
I'm telling you right now, if someone spoiled it coming out the theatre before me, they would have been getting fucking cracked.
I'm not saying there was probably people not doing that. There was probably people on social media spoiling things, but I just felt the numbers were down on people spoiling it. And I think there was maybe a hashtag that Tom Holland, etc., were saying, don't ruin Spider-Man or something. I can't remember what it was.
It helps when you go opening night though, which I think we did.
Fantastic, John. It was just the room is buzzing.
It was the best cinematic sort of experience.
Andrew Garfield, obviously pulling that mask off, and you're like, whew, and then Tobey Maguire just nonchalant the way he walks in, and he just
the interactions between the three Spider-Man characters, they're sharing their sort of positives and their cons of their life.
Andrew got his moment, obviously, rectifying obviously the death of Gwen, and Amazing Spider-Man 2. I thought that was a great moment. I thought Andrew Garfield was amazing in this film as well. So funny. But obviously, getting away from all that, Tom Holland's Peter Parker as well, just he grew into the character in this film, I felt, by the end. It was such a poignant and bittersweet ending as well, that I do hope that he does have another trilogy as a more mature Peter Parker, which I'm pretty sure we will see.
Stephen, I always say this is the sort of fun. This is the first Spider-Man movie, almost what they do with the Aunt May character. Killing her off, it's almost what happens with the uncle in your traditional origin story of Spider-Man. So they've subverted it, they flipped it. I thought that was really interesting because it gave him this point of connection with the other two Peter Parkers. Yeah. They'd experienced it, but they'd experienced
Peter 1,
it much.
Peter 2.
Yeah, Peter 1, Peter 2.
Peter 3.
But they'd experienced it way back in their sort of timelines of being Spider-Man. He'd just experienced it, so they could really help him out of that dark, deep funk he was in. Yeah. And then just the stuff at the end was absolutely epic. All these villains, and obviously Norman Osborn being the party pooper. Everyone else was... and Electro as well. Jamie Foxx, I thought, done brilliant coming back and righting the wrongs of the Amazing Spider-Man 2. Yeah. Giving us a slightly better version of the character. Just the interactions, the stuff on the bridge with Doc Ock. Really, really fucking cool film. Really cool film on a technical level. Getting to see those two back again, really, it's a special. It's a third best Spider-Man movie for me. It's right into Spider-Verse.
Yeah, it's fair enough. Yeah.
Just above it. Yeah. But the three outstanding movies we're talking about here. Yeah. Spider-Man 1.
John, this is an excellent film for me. I felt first time we're seeing a live-action Spider-Man since Nicholas Hammond's 1978. 79 or whatever it was, but done obviously better. Yeah. Obviously with more obviously funding. Tobey Maguire cast as Peter Parker thought was phenomenal. I knew Willem Dafoe from some films. He did the war one. What was it called? I can't remember. I can't remember, but he did quite a lot of films. He did. I know he did a right bad film with Madonna, to be fair, Body of Evidence, which was absolutely horseshit. But I knew he was a good actor. I knew he was a great actor.
Straightening that.
And
straightening that all night.
That's live TV for you folks.
Fuck's sake, that'll be another keyboard broke.
And it was just, it was just a great film. I just thought for an Origins film, I thought they nailed it. I thought having the Green Goblin as the villain in the first movie as well was quite a bold move. But Tobey Maguire for me just carries this film. Just fantastic. I knew him from previous films, the likes of Pleasantville, etc. And I went, this guy's going to be good as Peter Parker. He's got all the sort of characteristics, the nerdy sort of vibes off him, and just great film.
Just checking the audio. I'm here. Audio, strangely. I'm not entirely sure why. It'll be that. Move that out of the way. It's a Sam and Colby episode that I was watching before I came on. Yes, Stephen, I agree. Look, it's not as good as Spider-Man 2, but it's still a very good. What is happening here? I'm clutching my keyboard upside down, trying not to kill it, and I'm also trying to negotiate through this at the same time. It's going to be interesting. Going to be an interesting end to this sort of tier list video, but yeah, not quite as good as Spider-Man 2 for me. But still, it's my first in terms of my experience with the character. I hadn't been to see the Nicholas Hammond one because it was way before my time. Sadly,
this much.
From what I've seen, it was almost like Eminem without me climbing up the walls. But it was
when he's climbing up the walls, you could tell he was getting pulled by a rope because he was doing this kind of thing, and it was clearly there was no sort of friction between the hands and the wall. It's like he wasn't even touching the ball, But
it's outstanding, Stephen. And it buffed an interest in Spider-Man for me that's still prevalent to this day. Still one of my favourite, if not my favourite, Marvel characters.
Yeah.
And it's all thanks to these two movies here.
Yeah.
They started the whole thing. So to me, it is excellent. It's just behind Black Panther and Civil War. For me, am I putting that behind Black Panther? I'm going to put that above Black Panther.
It's above Black Panther,
yeah. It's the second best and excellent for me. What is happening here?
I think you're going to have to just...
Yeah, I'm
cut your losses with your keyboard and put it round the right way.
I'm pressing the keyboard down onto a fucking towel and it's just not happening. I daren't flick it round the other way though in case.
I think you should just set it down, man.
Just in case it's damaged, I'm just going to... We'll just hold it like this awkwardly, Stephen. It'll increase my arm strength, if nothing else. I daren't flick it back round in case all is damaged, because I don't want to be spending another £100 on a keyboard. That will break my fucking heart. I will be going back to old school Dell keyboards. What is this, Stephen? This is Spider-Man 2, the Amazing Spider-Man though, isn't it? What is
I think you're
here?
going to have to cancel that.
Yeah, cancel that, yeah. Amazing Spider-Man 2, I would put that as low average, poor.
Yeah, poor for me, John. Poor. I've watched this film. The only moment in this, and I thought there was a bold thing they did, was obviously the killing of Gwen.
Yeah, that was an epic moment.
It was such a shocking moment, John. But it's not a good film. I don't think it justifies the rest of the film. I thought the villains were pretty weak. I thought the writing was pretty weak. And again, I think this is Sony again putting their hand into something they shouldn't really be getting involved in. It had the potential. The Amazing Spider-Man first film for me was it was. I know we'll get into it. I think you better just lie that flat, man, because you just it's all over the place. Yeah,
it's because I was pressing it against the button. That's it. We've got a nice sweet place now, Stephen.
So yeah, for me, The Amazing Spider-Man 2 it's a poor film.
Would you rate it below or above Spider-Man 3?
Oh, it's certainly below Spider-Man 3, yeah.
Spider-Man 3. Would you rate it below or above Iron Man 3 and Iron Man 2?
I think it's probably in par with them.
It's got to be above Morbius though, hasn't it?
I think so, yeah.
Spider-Man, Amazing Spider-Man 1,
pretty average.
Average, yeah.
Do you know something? It's not Andrew Garfield's fault, and I love Andrew Garfield. I thought he was good in No Way Home, but that film came out in 2014, I think. Was it 2014 or was that the sequel? Roundabouts then, anyway. It was just too close to the Tobey Maguire trilogy for me. It just, and doing another Origins film just wasn't a great idea, I felt. And Andrew Garfield as Peter Parker was good. I thought it was another good take on the character, and I thought Rhys Ifans, is that what you call him? Ifans, the Welsh actor, Peter Parker, he plays obviously the Lizard.
And he comes back as well.
He was a good villain. He was a good villain, and visually it was a good film in terms of that, but storyline, it's just nothing new there. It was just the same old regurgitated crap.
My dog's farted again and again. Going to get back to an aromatic metaphor for that movie.
Avengers,
and this is...
We went to see this in the cinema.
The original Avengers.
Yeah.
Steve, again,
good.
For me, it's good.
It's John. I thought that, in terms of everything leading up to this film from 2008, that 4-year period, introducing Thor, Iron Man, Captain America and Incredible Hulk, as well as introducing obviously Hawkeye and Natasha, was she in this?
Yeah, she was in it. Yeah,
because she was introduced in one of the Iron Man films, wasn't she? One of the sequels. So, and obviously her introduction to Loki as well, I think. I thought it was a great film. Visually, it was incredible. I thought the Incredible Hulk, and I thought Mark Ruffalo as the Incredible Hulk. This was the first time we'd seen him in this role as well. I had concerns,
menacing,
because I always knew Mark Ruffalo as a supporting actor in the Leonardo DiCaprio film, Martin Scorsese,
Shutter Island.
Yes. Thought he was a great supporting actor. He was also good in some rom-coms as well, one with Reese Witherspoon, Just Like Heaven, I thought it was called, and I thought that was his sort of level, supporting actor or romantic lead kind of thing. Totally didn't know anything about this guy after watching this film. I thought this guy's actually pretty good. Because I'm an Ed Norton fan as well, John, I just thought no one's going to be better than Ed Norton. I'm not saying he is better, I think he's on par. I thought the transition between both actors was fantastic.
Yes, I'm just going to hold this here. This is really fucking weird what's happening here. I wish you could see behind the scenes. It's really strange. I look like some demented villain from a fucking random, I don't know.
Defenders,
Stephen
John.
King
Defenders. I'll do this briefly. Defenders was basically Netflix version of an Avengers film. It just didn't work. Sadly, it didn't. It should have. But I think great actors, great cast, but it just didn't. There's too much going on for a TV series for that kind of ensemble, if you know what I mean. There just wasn't enough time to be able to deal with all the characters and give them all equal sort of time on screen. Just didn't work. Probably poor, yeah.
Poor. We've got Falcon and the Winter Soldier, Stephen. I think you would agree with me. This probably goes into low average.
Yeah, I had high expectations for this, John, but I didn't like those nutcases.
The flag smashers.
Yeah, what was that?
That little girl again, actress who was
Ginger Gonk,
sort of semi-villainous turn in the Soul movie.
Yeah,
we spoke about it. We spoke about Jared Leto needing a new agent, needing some career advice when it comes to movies. He's won an Academy Award. She needs even more advice. She needs a new agent. She needs to sack the equivalent of Steve Merchant from fucking Extras and do something. Do something with her agent, because she is picking roles. They should work, but they're not working. At what point do you actually turn the magnifying glass on yourself and say it could be you?
Yeah,
it's a problem. I don't know. There was elements in there I liked. I certainly enjoyed the Winter Soldier stuff, going back and him exercising demons, going through this book of names. I think that's what I'm trying to say.
Yeah. And
obviously Falcon becoming Captain America. You had John Walker, some funny moments with him, but it's an average TV show. It's not better than the likes of Hawkeye for me.
You want me to rest that up against there, man? So it's sitting up and it's not.
No, the reason I'm holding it on that is just so the liquid that's perhaps still sitting there. It's not going crazy, the keyboard, so I think it's all right.
Okay.
I'm just going to keep it upside down just a little bit longer, just so the liquid can fuck off out of it if there is any remaining. But the fact that it's not going mental tells me all is not lost.
Yeah.
So I'll just keep holding it like that, because if I turn it upside down, it could get bad. I'm just going to keep holding it. It's weird, but I'm going to keep it. I'm comfortable. It's alright. Comfortable. Hulk. Is this the Eric Bana Hulk, or is this the Ed Norton?
This is Norton, yeah. He's part
Ed
of the
Norton
MCU,
Hulk.
yeah.
I mean, for me it's average.
I think it's average, John.
Would you put it above?
I think it's probably the best of the average, if I'm being honest with you. It's Ed Norton is good in it. But again, Origins films, if you're quite familiar with the character, and I think the Eric Bana thing as well, from 2003, I think, Hulk, wasn't it? Again, just too many things going on at the same time, and the same sort of storyline, if you like. But I thought Ed Norton was very good in it, and there was sort of callbacks to the Bill Bixby TV series as well. The music, the kind of score they were playing, and those kind of white piercing eyes when he's about to turn, which I'm always annoyed they didn't do that with the Ruffalo character. I thought, let's bring that back, because that's quite a iconic moment when he's about to turn into Hulk. You see the eyes going that kind of dilated white way. Fantastic visually. That's an okay film, and obviously your man Tim Roth is in this as well, and I thought he was great. A fantastic actor.
And your man who passed away not long ago, it's been recast with Harrison Ford.
The kind of colonel figure. That's a good film. It's not a good film. It's an average film.
It's an average film, but it's high average.
It's high average.
I enjoy it.
Yeah.
I like it. I think I'm about to say Eric Bana. I think Edward Norton does a good job in this movie. I think in terms of visuals, it's not aged horrifically.
No.
It still stands the test of time.
It's funny when you see
and the stuff with was it a helicopter?
Yeah,
that's pretty cool.
It's funny to see like Hulk and the sort of the way he's developed over the years in terms of obviously the technology. They've got better at it, but in this version,
I actually think he looks better than he does in the first Avengers movie.
Yeah, he looks menacing in this. He looks quite menacing. So yeah,
I agree with that. I think it's high average, Stephen.
Yeah.
Ragnarok.
Yeah, I like it. It's the best of the Thor films for me.
I think Ragnarok is into good for me.
Yeah, I think it's somewhere between Loki, isn't it? Same kind of tone, I feel. Yeah. Jeff Goldblum in there, fantastic. And obviously we get to see Hulk again.
We do.
Just a great film.
Stuck as Hulk. And speaking of Hulk, Stephen, the sort of
Kate Blanchett.
Yes. Hela.
Yeah.
Great villainous turn.
Helena? I don't know.
I was about to say Helena, but I think it was Hela, potentially.
Yeah.
But it's almost like a backstory for Hulk. He starts off as a combination. No, he's Hulk in this.
Yeah.
Then he becomes
Bruce Banner.
in Infinity War because he gets humbled by Thanos, and then in Endgame he's like Smart Hulk.
Yeah.
So it's like a backstory told over 3 movies, and that's where it starts with this.
Yeah.
Very colourful. Taika Waititi's best. You've got
It was
man
much
in there.
needed as well, wasn't it, tonally? They
was.
had to do something like that, and that's what we were saying earlier about Guardians. It opened the door for this film to be made, I felt, and be accepted into the MCU without it look jarring.
Yeah, and it certainly worked.
Yeah.
Some funny moments in there. Great villainous turns, you did
Yeah.
say. I think it's a good movie. I think
it's good,
rating.
yeah.
You've got Dark World, I believe this is. It's a poor movie for me.
I don't like that film at all, John. Don't like it at all.
Just stuffy, crap, villains are shite. I think there's maybe an end credit scene, maybe. I don't know if that's the case, but yeah, it was obviously an end credit scene, but I don't know if this is the one with Thanos.
It may have been. It may have been around about that time, and it could have been Thor: The Dark World it appeared in. Whether or not it was Josh Brolin's Thanos, I'm not sure.
That may have been the first Thor movie, when I think of it.
Yeah, it could have been, John. I can't
remember. Because
remember.
Loki gets gave the Infinity Stone, and it leads into into actual first Avengers. Thanos gives him the stone to defeat them, I think. Or something like that anyway, I'm not sure. It's been a while since I've seen it.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's a poor movie, man. There's not much time having to spent in this. This one's alright.
Kenneth Branagh's one, yeah.
When it's average for me, it's not any better than average. I do think it's better than Black Widow.
Yeah.
And I think it's better than Jessica Jones and Luke Cage. It's behind... Is it better than Guardians Volume 2?
I think it's better than Age of Ultron, John,
yeah, I think it is as well. Is it better than Eternals?
Yeah.
Yeah, so it's in there.
It's in that bracket, and Incredible Hulk and Thor, yeah.
It's a sort of tragic Shakespearean story again about Thor. Guy's kind of lost his way a bit.
He's a bit stuffy in it though, Chris Hemsworth, isn't he?
But it introduces, you've got your man Skarsgård in there, you've got
Natalie Portman,
also Tony Hopkins.
The girl that's in WandaVision as well, a wee computer nerd, what's her name again?
I always forget her name.
Yeah.
But she's in there, she's the sort of sidekick of Jane, isn't she?
Yeah.
But it's an alright movie, it's decent, it's average. Again, it's just world building at this stage for the MCU. It's given us a platform to springboard off of. Obviously it didn't go well for Thor because we go to fucking Dark World, whatever the hell it's called. I watched that going on holiday and it nearly ruined my holiday. Fucking couldn't even save a 2.5 hour 3 hour flight journey. It
made the journey feel longer.
It did. It was god awful. I've not seen Venom 2.
I've not seen Venom 2 either, John.
So we'll pop that in there. Venom 1, I actually enjoyed Venom 1. I don't think I can rate it above the likes of this.
No.
I think it would probably go into like...
Yeah, Tom Hardy's good in it. I thought, considering... I think it's a hard thing, John, for any studio to do a film about a so-called villain, and I think it's hard to pull off. For me, I just think it's probably average, and I would keep it an average because Tom Hardy is good in it, but is the storyline that great? It's
story of two halves, isn't it? Really,
yeah.
It introduces Eddie Brock at the start.
Yeah.
The man, and then you're introduced to the symbiote. They combine, and then you've got a balls to the wall crazy action film for the second half.
Yeah.
Taking down this sort of megalomaniac, I don't know, corporate figure in Riz Ahmed. I think it's a decent. I do enjoy it. I don't know if
I'd say it's.
I think it's better than fucking Guardians Volume 2 though.
Yeah, it's somewhere in between there, isn't it? Yeah.
Yeah, it's definitely better than that. I don't think it's better than Age of Ultron, but it's certainly better than Guardians Volume 2. For me, it's in the middle of average. I actually enjoyed it. I'm a big fan of Tom Hardy though, Stephen. I like him as an actor. There was a point where he was becoming in danger of being a sort of much better version of Sam Worthington.
Yeah, I noticed that.
He was everywhere.
Yeah.
But really enjoy him as an actor.
He's reined that in, thankfully.
He has. He's reined it in big time. Outstanding.
Yeah.
Is Eddie Brock. So for me, that goes in there. WandaVision.
I think that's excellent, John.
Yeah.
I think it's phenomenal TV. Something that really took us by surprise. When they announced they were doing Loki, Falcon the Winter Soldier, and WandaVision, I'd probably say that WandaVision was probably my second most anticipated, with obviously the Falcon the Winter Soldier being number one. How wrong was I? It was actually wrong in so many levels. WandaVision was actually my favourite. Loki was my second, which I thought would be my last, and Falcon the Winter Soldier was probably my third most. Just at that time period when they all came out, that sort of the sequential, weren't they? They all came out quite close together. But WandaVision for me, just from a storytelling point of view, how do you execute that visually? And they managed to do it, and I thought Paul Bettany and Elizabeth Olsen just great to see them back as well after obviously the tragic events in Infinity War, which I thought is still quite emotional to watch that.
Twice.
Yeah, it was horrific.
Let's kill him again.
And how it affected her as well, and you see how it affects her in this as well.
Broke her. Yeah. She was on the verge of madness.
It's so dark, John. That web series is so dark in so many levels.
Just technically a triumph as well, Stephen. Really ballsy from Marvel and the creative team over there to do a black and white style thing.
Yep.
And the way they connected it into her backstory, the flashbacks to her in Sokovia, was it? That's where she was from.
Yeah.
Just really, really cool the way they combined all of that to really give you an emotive journey. You've got Ralph Boner, that's the only letdown for me. You bring Evan Peters in, you make him Ralph Boner. He's an outstanding actor. We've seen that with Dahmer now. They really did drop the ball. This guy deserves a chance at playing Quicksilver again.
Perhaps maybe there's a reason for it. I'm hoping there is, John.
I hope there is as well.
But are we getting a WandaVision season 2?
I doubt it. I think she's done.
Yeah.
She's come out and said she's done now, Elizabeth Olsen with Marvel.
Oh, is she?
Yeah, I think she's done. Well, it could be for press reasons. She might not be done, but she said she's done. Obviously, Catherine Hahn as well.
Yeah.
As Agatha Harkness, she's getting her own spin-off thing. I think the Coven of Witches or something. I don't know what the fuck it's called. But she was really, really good in it. And again, we had the little scientific figure, as you mentioned, Stephen.
Yeah.
She came in this. So for me, that's excellent. That's the best of the TV related stuff that Marvel have produced.
Yeah.
I'm sure there'll be stuff that comes out in the future that will be better, but for me, that is the best. Just the story, technically. And ballsy to make the episode short at the start as well.
Yeah, certainly,
really
yeah.
What If? I've not seen What If.
I've not seen What If either, John.
So that goes in there. And we're left with Thor.
I've not seen that.
Love and Thunder, and it's poor.
Is it?
Oh, it's terrible. Okay. Fucking worse than Dark World.
I think you saw that, John, and you told me about it. Put me off. It's a bit like the Eternals.
I tell you what, I'll go as far as to say it's fucking right down there.
Really?
But I think Multiverse of Madness below Morbius. No. No. Morbius is the worst.
Do you still think the Punisher should be in it? Excellent, John.
I think it should, yeah. Okay. I think it should. It could slip down into good, actually.
I've only seen season 1, so I can't really comment.
What we'll do, we'll put it down into here.
Yeah.
We'll put it down into good.
Yeah.
I think that's fair, though. I mean, Daredevil could maybe slip down into good as well, if I'm being honest here.
Yeah.
It could, couldn't it?
I think so, yeah.
You think so? But above the Punisher?
Yeah, I think I was getting carried away with myself just thinking back to a great Netflix series. But when you see it up against what it's up against in this list, you kind of go, yeah, okay.
I think Ant-Man and the Wasp is... no, I'm going to keep that there.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm going to keep that there. I think that's fair, Steve. I really do.
It's
difficult
list,
to gauge TV against film. Because they're different mediums and they're long-form storytelling, and sometimes they're more impactful than the films. The films are short bursts and they can be really impactful for a small period of time. But if you're spending 10, 20, 30 hours over 3 seasons with actors, with the story, it can really leave a lasting sort of impact, a connection to it. And I think what Charlie Cox created over at Netflix with Daredevil was special. I think what John Bernthal created with The Punisher over those 2 seasons, really dark places that character went to, really ballsy to create that show. I don't think Marvel and Disney would do it.
No.
Netflix have done it. I would like to see Bernthal back. I don't think we'll get him back, personally. I think it deserves to be in there. The only question is Far From Home above those? I mean, is it above it? Are we keeping it in there? It's difficult to say, isn't it?
Is it better than Black Panther? See, I really like Black Panther, so...
Black Panther, where is Black Panther?
That's
Black
up at excellent, yeah.
It's up at excellent, though. It's certainly not. No.
Yeah, I think Far From Home is probably in the right place then.
Yeah, I'm just talking about in comparison to the sort of like Daredevil and Punisher. Is Far From Home better than Daredevil and Punisher?
Again, that's what you're talking about.
It's subjective, isn't it?
With obviously TV series and comparing them with films on it is difficult.
It's difficult. I think we're doing Shang-Chi dirty, but we'll just keep it there. We're not, because it's next to Ant-Man. No, we're not. It's fine.
Ant-Man's good.
Is this
Shang-Chi's good.
Is this Spider-Man Homecoming?
Yeah. I think Homecoming better than Far From. I think it is.
Yeah.
I think it is, yeah.
I think it is, yeah. We're going to move that up.
Yeah. It's refusing to move.
It is refusing to move. And then Shang-Chi. Yeah, I think that's fair. I think they're all good. I mean, they're good movies. They're all good movies. It's a sliding scale. Yeah, I think that's fair, Steve. You look at Special, I think they're undeniable. We've got Infinity War, Endgame, Spider-Man 2, Spider-Man Far From Home, The Winter Soldier. They are the special Marvel movies, be it from Sony or Disney, and it's all one universe now, as you did rightly say, thanks to Far From Home.
Yeah.
They are special. They are 9 to 10 movies.
And
That's
we didn't put
undeniable.
them there. Someone else did.
Yes, yes.
Just in case anyone goes, "What you put them in there for, guys?" Well, it wasn't us.
Yes, exactly.
But we'll deal with it, and we did.
We did, and they deserve to be there because they're part of the MCU now. Toby has appeared in the MCU. Andrew Garfield has appeared in the MCU. The villains have appeared in the MCU. So, fucking, they've every right to be there. Excellent, Steen. I think excellent's fair as well. Civil War, Spider-Man 1, Black Panther, Guardians of the Galaxy, WandaVision. I think that's absolutely fine and dandy.
Yeah.
You could maybe bump Iron Man up to excellent if you were being really generous, but I think it's fine where
I think
it is.
it's just below excellent. I think it's somewhere.
It deserves to be
probably
above.
it's probably a 7.
Yeah, 7.8 or something like that.
7.8. Yeah.
It's high good. Avengers, the first Avengers movie, started it all, but when you actually think of it retrospectively, it's quite small scale.
Yeah, it is. Yeah.
It's in New York. It's Loki, who's a bit of a joke villain when you think of what comes afterwards.
Yeah.
I mean, he's fucking gets his neck snapped with Thanos at the start of Infinity War. This guy was the villain of the movie, and it's these shite aliens come through the sky. But it was great at the time. It's the first time we'd seen an ensemble superhero movie. Captain America, First Avenger, Loki. I think these are first.
Apart from that 77 special that we reacted to. That was good, John. I'm glad we did that.
Yeah, I think it's fair. Just rule them out. They don't matter, the things down below. And you look at it, I think we've rated it well, Stephen.
Yeah, I think so.
If I do say so myself. I'm going to go to dual web. That's not what I meant to do. Dual screen. Now we're getting the intro.
An hour and 39 minutes.
Fucking still getting the intro. Yeah. We're still getting the intro.
Well, this show's been nearly as long as an actual MCU film.
Yes, it's been fucking epic.
Yeah.
And I've nearly broke my keyboard in the midst of it. It's still upside down, incidentally. I'm holding this keyboard upside down, and it will remain upside down into the wee small hours. Because I daren't flip it round. I am fearful.
Get that hairdryer on it.
I'm going to, Stephen. That's exactly what I'm going to do. I'm going to blow the hairdryer at it while it's upside down. So that's going to get held like that. I am showing Titanic. I'm showing Thor-like strength to hold that with 2 fingers. And we're going to round it up, man. What's your thoughts on the MCU, on the movies? If you managed to get through an hour and 39 minutes, fucking hell, good luck if you have. You deserve a Boy Peter badge, which we do not have, so don't come knocking at the fictional headquarters of MBE looking for that. You will not get it.
Or Jim and Fix It medals.
Yeah, no, we're certainly not giving out Jim and Fix It fucking medals, that's for sure. Taking nothing to do with that. Fucking weirdo. He's dead now, and thank God he is. We'll celebrate it. I'm just going to rest this keyboard and hopefully things don't go crazy. They haven't, thank God. Even my hand is starting to break now. I've wondered what would break first, your mind or your body? Well, my body's broke first. What is your thoughts in the MCU? You can maybe share your thoughts down below where you would rank different movies in terms of special, excellent, good, average, poor, haven't seen, yada yada yada. All your thoughts can go down below in the comment section. That's the place to put it. You can also like the video if you've enjoyed it, subscribe to the channel on YouTube and hit the bell icon to get notifications straight to your eyeballs. Do the same over on Twitch, follow button, notifications button over there to see the exact same thing over there on a different platform. All that's left to say now though is thank you for watching. Me and Stephen are done, and until the next time,